The first vibration of my phone didn't bother me. It was Saturday night, the kind of night where I wanted nothing more than silence, maybe a dull movie in the background while I convinced myself tomorrow would be better. But then the second vibration came, then a third, until the buzzing felt like a trapped insect rattling against my nightstand. I reached for it, groggy with the kind of exhaustion that isn't physical, something heavier, lodged in the chest. My lock screen glowed with stacked notifications. Family and friends red heart, 58 new messages. Great. Another digital shouting match about weekend plans, or maybe one of Aunt Carla's marathon recipe threads that nobody ever asked for. I thumbed into the chat, already rolling my eyes, until my stomach dropped. Pinned at the top was a single line from my wife. Maya, 9:13 p.m., I need to say something important. I froze, thumb hovering, waiting for what followed. Then it came. Maya, 9:14 p.m., I'm leaving. For true love. For a split second, I thought it was a joke. Some sarcastic stab at romance. She had a sharp tongue, she liked stirring attention. But then the typing bubbles danced again, and the next message came like a knife sliding under skin. Maya, 9:15 p.m., I can't keep pretending. I found the person I was meant to be with. The chat detonated. Heart emojis, shocked faces, strings of question marks flooded the thread. Lena, wait, what? Ben, Maya WTF. Mom, honey, in the group chat. Aunt Carla, is this a prank? My eyes blurred over as more poured in, each message flashing brighter than the last. My thumb scrolled, but I wasn't really seeing words anymore. She had said it. In the one place she knew everyone, my family, her family, our closest friends, would see. Not in private, not face to face, but here, in the digital circus. I tried to type, but my fingers stuttered on the glass. Me, Maya, what is this? 3 dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. My heart was climbing my throat. Maya, it's the truth. I can't stay with someone I don't love. I won't lie anymore. Silence dropped over me, heavier than any sound. I could almost feel the others on the chat holding their breath too. And then the reactions began again, this time sharper. Ben, bro, she's saying this here. Lena, Maya, stop. This isn't right. Mom, sweetheart, please think carefully. We can talk privately. And then, the dagger. Maya, no. I want everyone to know. I deserve to be happy. I've found real love. Not convenience. Convenience. That word seared my skin. Like I was a placeholder, a rented space in her life until something shinier walked by. The typing bubble blinked again. Maya, you'll see soon. I'm not sorry. I swear I could feel dozens of eyes pivoting toward me through the screen, waiting for my explosion, my collapse, my defense. But I sat frozen, staring at the relentless blue glow. Every marriage vow we'd made felt cheapened, turned to ash by pixels and group reactions. My phone buzzed again. More texts spilling in, condolences from friends, half-judgments from relatives. Cousin Jess, so sorry to hear this crying face. Uncle Rob, knew something was off. Lena, don't listen to them. We'll talk tomorrow. Tomorrow. Everyone loved promising tomorrow. But right now, my chest felt like glass about to shatter. I dropped the phone on the bed, pressing palms into my eyes. My mind flickered through memories of Maya, her laughter, the mornings, the little things she used to do that I thought meant something. All suddenly poisoned by tonight's casual betrayal. The phone buzzed again. I almost ignored it. But the screen glowed with something different. A direct message. Not the group chat. Private DM, from Aria, her stepsister. We weren't close. Civil, sure, polite at family gatherings. She was younger, quieter, often in Maya's shadow. I swiped it open. Just 3 words. Aria, meet me. Now. And that's where the ground shifted beneath me. I couldn't sit still after Aria's message. My body moved before my mind did, shoving on shoes, snatching my jacket. The house behind me felt empty, hollow in its silence. The streets were dark, lit only by the orange spill of street lamps. My footsteps echoed like I was the last person left in the world. I spotted her, leaning against the hood of her car, arms crossed tight, phone clutched like it might burn her. Aria. Her face caught in the glow of her screen, pale and tense. She looked up when she saw me, and for a heartbeat, neither of us said a word. Finally, she pushed the phone toward me. You need to see this. Her voice was flat, but her hand trembled. I hesitated. I didn't want to. Whatever truth sat inside that glowing rectangle, I wasn't ready. But I took it anyway. The first screenshot was a chat between Maya and someone labeled, Kissmark True Love. My gut twisted just seeing it. Maya, 2 weeks ago, I'm going to tell him soon. Maybe in the group chat. It'll be more dramatic that way, face with tears of joy. Dramatic. She planned this. She rehearsed my humiliation like it was theater. True love, you're savage. He won't see it coming. Maya, that's the point. He deserves it. Always so boring. He'll survive. My hands shook. I wanted to drop the phone. She knew, I muttered, the words scraping out of me. She's been planning this. Aria's eyes flicked up to mine, unreadable. Keep scrolling. I did. The next screenshot was worse. A group chat I wasn't in, her friends. Names I recognized. People I'd had drinks with, laughed with, trusted. Lena, when are you gonna tell him? Maya, soon. Maybe at dinner, maybe in the group chat lol. Ben, damn that's cold. Maya, he'll live. He always does. Face with rolling eyes. Jess, don't drag it too long though. It's sad. Maya, he doesn't even notice. Like talking to a wall sometimes. The screen blurred as my eyes stung. They knew. They all knew. And none of them said a word. Why didn't they tell me? My voice cracked in the night air. Why didn't anyone? They were protecting her, Aria said quietly. Her words weren't cruel, just honest. And somehow that honesty cut deeper. I swiped again, desperate for proof this nightmare was exaggerated, that there was a mistake. But it only got worse. Maya's name kept appearing, each time sharper, crueler. Maya, you should have seen him last night. He thought I actually cared. Face with tears of joy. Maya, he still talks about our future. Can you imagine? Future with him? Maya, I swear, sometimes I want to laugh in his face. A hollow laugh escaped me, strangled halfway in my throat. She was mocking me. All this time. Aria looked away, jaw tight. I didn't want to show you. But, better you see than stay blind. I stared at the screen, as if maybe if I stared long enough the words would dissolve, undo themselves, vanish back into the ether. But they stayed. Every emoji was a dagger. Every face with tears of joy was a wound. Then came the final blow. A screenshot from a late-night chat. The top of the message showed Maya's name. The other. My chest caved in when I saw it. Jason, best friend Red Heart. Jason. My best friend since middle school. The one who stood beside me at the altar. The one I trusted like a brother. And the message. Jason, don't worry, I'll cover for you. He thinks you're working late. Just be careful. My vision tunneled. The air has thinned. My knees nearly gave out. Jason knew. Jason helped. The phone slipped in my grip, and I barely caught it before it hit the asphalt. Aria's voice was barely a whisper. I didn't want to believe it either. The night seemed to close in, the silence pressing like a hand over my mouth. My wife had betrayed me. My friends had laughed behind my back. And now, my best friend was part of it too. The dining room smelled like roasted chicken and scorched nerves. Forks scraped against plates too loudly, every clink a reminder of how wrong this night already was. No one looked comfortable. My mother fussed with her napkin. Uncle Rob poured himself another glass of wine before the first one was gone. Even the chandelier light felt harsher, exposing every twitch, every darting glance. And then Maya walked in. She didn't come alone. At her side, hand clasped in hers, was a man I barely recognized, tall, sharp-jawed, smug in a pressed shirt. She introduced him with the casual cruelty of someone tossing gasoline on a flame. This is Daniel, she said. My true love. The words sliced the air. Chairs creaked as family members shifted uncomfortably. My mother's hand froze halfway to her glass. Daniel had the gall to nod politely, like we were strangers meeting at a brunch. Evening, he said smoothly. I couldn't answer. My throat was locked. Maya slid into her seat with Daniel beside her, acting as if this was just another holiday gathering. She smiled, no, performed. Every movement is deliberate, calculated. So, she began, spearing a piece of chicken. I suppose everyone here has questions. But let me make it simple. I chose love. Real love. Isn't that what life's supposed to be about? Aunt Carla coughed into her wine glass. My cousin stared at her plate. Nobody wanted to be the first to speak. Finally, Uncle Rob muttered, in front of all of us. Really? Maya didn't flinch. Why not? I'm tired of living a lie. I refuse to chain myself to someone who doesn't make me happy. Her eyes flicked to me when she said it. Deliberately. My grip on my fork tightened until my knuckles whitened. I wanted to shout, to throw every screenshot Arya had shown me onto the table and let them see what Maya truly was. But my tongue was heavy, paralyzed. Mom tried to intervene, voice brittle. Maya, darling, there are kinder ways to. No, Maya cut in, leaning back smugly. Truth is never kind, it's honest. He deserves honesty. We all do. The table buzzed with whispers. A few nodded, maybe out of shock, maybe out of cowardice. I sat in the center of it, the accused without ever being asked a question. Maya tilted her head, false sympathy dripping in her tone. I don't hate him. He's decent. But you can't build a marriage on convenience. That word again. Convenience. Like I was a placeholder in her life. Before I could explode, a voice cut through the table like glass breaking. Stop lying. Every head turned. Arya. She hadn't spoken a word all evening, but now her voice was sharp, clear, unwavering. Her fork clattered onto her plate as she leaned forward, eyes burning into Maya's. You planned this for weeks, Arya said. You bragged about it to your friends. Don't you dare stand here and pretend you're some martyr for love. Maya's smile faltered for the first time. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do, Arya shot back. I've seen the chats. You mocked him. You laughed about humiliating him. That's not liberation, Maya. That's cruelty. The room erupted. Gasps, murmurs, some siding with Maya, others stunned into silence. My chest swelled with something hot and sharp, gratitude, disbelief, rage all tangled together. Maya's eyes narrowed. Screenshots, she sneered. That's your proof. Digital gossip. Arya didn't blink. Your words, Maya. Your words about the man you promised to love. The table split visibly, half glancing at me with pity, half glaring at Maya with disgust. Daniel shifted uncomfortably, clearly not expecting this battlefield. Maya, however, wasn't one to lose ground. She leaned across the table suddenly, her gaze locked on mine like a snake ready to strike. Her voice dropped low, sharp enough that only I could hear. If you only knew what your precious stepsister did. My blood ran cold. The dining room scattered into fragments, chairs scraping, muttered goodbyes, the clink of glasses abandoned too quickly. But I didn't move. Neither did Maya. She lingered near the archway, arms crossed, eyes glittering with the kind of smug satisfaction that made me want to put my fist through the wall. I followed her, heart hammering, and cornered her in the small den just off the hall. The door clicked shut behind us. The muffled murmur of family in the other room faded. It was just her and me. Say it, I demanded, voice low, dangerous. Say what you were about to say at the table. Maya tilted her head, lips curling. Touchy, aren't we? Stop playing. My throat burned. Did you ever love me? The silence stretched. She didn't even blink. Then, finally, she laughed, soft and cruel. Love? She shrugged. No. Not really. The air seemed to collapse inward. I swayed, as though the floor had given way beneath me. Maya stepped closer, her perfume sickly sweet. You were, convenient. Safe. The kind of man a woman can rely on until something better comes along. Convenient. That word again. It echoed in my skull, drilling deep. You married me, I rasped, for convenience. She smirked, unbothered. It worked for a while. You paid the bills. You made me look respectable. You didn't ask questions. Her eyes narrowed. But I was bored, and you never noticed. My chest burned, my pulse screaming in my ears. All those nights I thought she was tired. All morning she kissed me goodbye with a smile that now looked like mockery. You wasted my life, I hissed. No, she corrected, smiling like a cat with a cornered mouse. I used it. Something in me snapped. Rage flared, molten and raw. My fists clenched so tight my nails cut skin. You're vile, I spat. Every vow you made was a lie. She didn't flinch. She basked in it, like my anger was her victory. Then a voice came from behind me. That's not true. I turned. Arya stood in the doorway, her face pale but her eyes burning with defiance. She's lying if she says no one loved you, Arya said. Her voice trembled but didn't break. She never cared. But I did. The room tilted. My fury froze, tangled with shock. What are you talking about? I asked. Arya stepped forward, glancing at her sister with contempt. Every time she mocked you, every time she brushed you aside, I was there. I was the one who listened when you talked about your dreams. I was the one who defended you when she laughed at you with her friends. You just didn't see it. Maya scoffed. Don't romanticize yourself, Arya. You were just the shadow. Always the shadow. Arya's chin lifted. Better a shadow than a liar. The room pulsed with heat, the two sisters standing on opposite ends like a fault line splitting open. My mind spun, torn between the sting of betrayal and the faint, bewildering comfort of Arya's words. Maya, unbothered by the storm she'd created, reached into her purse. Her nails tapped against a thick envelope. She pulled it free and tossed it onto the coffee table between us. The sound was sharp, final. What's that? I asked, though dread already coiled in my gut. Maya smirked, her eyes locked on mine. Annulment papers, she said. The envelope still sat on the table like a taunt. Annulment papers. Clean. Cold. Neat lines to erase everything messy and human between us. I couldn't breathe in that house anymore. The walls felt like they were closing in, soaked in betrayal. I shoved out the front door, my footsteps loud on the wooden porch. The night air slapped me, but it wasn't enough to cool the heat in my chest. Wait, her voice followed. Areas. She caught up, hair loose, breath quick. Don't just disappear like that. I turned, anger spilling in my words. She never loved me, Arya. She used me. Years of my life, wasted. Arya's gaze softened, heavy with something I couldn't name. I know. The silence stretched, unbearable. Finally, she whispered, let's get out of here. Just for tonight. We ended up at a dive bar tucked between shuttered shops, the kind of place with sticky floors and neon lights that buzzed like dying insects. A half-empty bottle sat between us on the booth table. I don't even remember who ordered the shots first. Only that the burn in my throat was a relief compared to the burn in my chest. Arya swirled the amber liquid in her glass. She always took, you know. I frowned. What? Maya, she said bitterly. She took the spotlight. The praise. And when she had nothing left, she took you. I laughed hollowly, tipping back another shot. Well, she gave me back now. Annulment papers and all. Arya's jaw tightened. She didn't deserve you. Her words cut deeper than the alcohol. You sound so sure. Because I saw it, she said, eyes flashing. I saw the way you worked yourself to exhaustion to give her stability. The way you believed in her even when she mocked you. The way you, she faltered, looking down at her drink. The way you kept being you. The silence between us wasn't empty. It thrummed. You admired that? I asked, voice low. Her cheeks flushed, but she didn't look away. Always. But I never crossed the line. I wouldn't do that to you, or to her. Something in my chest cracked. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, I felt seen. We sat there, wounded and reckless, two people orbiting the same gravitational pull of betrayal. Then Arya laughed suddenly, sharp and wild. God, you know what's funny? She thinks she's free. She thinks she won. But imagine if we just flipped the script. I raised a brow. Flipped it, how? Something she couldn't ignore. Something that would make her choke on that smug little smile. The alcohol made everything hazy, ideas bolder than they should be. My lips curled into something half a grin, half a snarl. Like what? Arya leaned closer, whispering, like getting married. I blinked. What? She smirked, almost daring me. Why not? She wanted to erase you like you never mattered. What if you proved her wrong? Tonight. Just, take back control. The idea was insane. Reckless. Outrageous. But in that moment, in my haze of anger and heartbreak, it felt like oxygen. I laughed. But it wasn't disbelief. It was the sound of someone on the edge. Marry you. Tonight. Arya's eyes held mine. Why not? The silence stretched again, but this time it hummed with possibility. And then we were running, through the neon night, to her car, down empty streets that blurred past headlights. The courthouse smelled of dust and paper. The clock ticked close to midnight. The officiant looked tired, confused, maybe even judgmental. But he sat there anyway, paperwork in hand, watching two broken people cling to each other like lifelines. Arya stood beside me, her hand trembling against mine. My pulse was chaos. My head screamed that this was madness. But my heart was louder. The officiant's voice rang steady in the stillness. Do you take her as your lawful wife? Do you take her as your lawful wife? The officiant's question hung in the stale courthouse air like a loaded gun. I opened my mouth, words catching, lungs burning. I do. The echo of those two words didn't feel real. It felt like they belonged to someone else. Someone reckless, someone broken. Aria's hand squeezed mine, grounding me. When she whispered her own, I do, there was no hesitation. And just like that, the officiant closed the book with a soft thud. By the authority vested in me by the state, you are husband and wife. My stomach flipped. Husband and wife. Again. Hours after being discarded like trash. We signed the papers at a chipped wooden desk, the ink trembling in my hand. Each letter I scrawled tightened the knot in my chest. When the officiant gestured, Aria leaned toward me. The kiss was quick, tentative, strange, not passion, not yet, but something raw. Something desperate to prove we weren't broken. Congratulations, the officiant muttered. His eyes betrayed a flicker of disbelief. In the hall outside, under flickering fluorescent lights, Aria pulled out her phone. We should take one, she said softly. Proof. Before I could answer, the clerk who'd handled our paperwork called out, smile, newlyweds. He snapped a photo with his own phone, probably meant as kindness, maybe curiosity. Aria laughed nervously, tugging me close. I forced a smile, but inside, I was unraveling. That photo would become a grenade. I didn't know it yet. It started small. My phone buzzed once, twice. Family chat speech balloon. The picture. Us, courthouse background, my tie loosened, Aria's hair messy but her smile wide. Then the emojis hit. Eyes flushed, face broken, heart fire. Questions stacked. Is this real? Tell me this is a joke. Wait, what? I stared at the screen, blood rushing in my ears. Another buzz. Friends forever clinking beer mugs. The same photo. Someone had screenshotted it, blasted it across chats. More texts. Shock, laughter, confusion, betrayal. I scrolled like I was drowning. Every name I knew seemed to pop up. Cousin Mark, dude, ours. Lisa, OMG, this is savage. Tom, so this is how you get revenge. Aria leaned over, reading, her lips pressed tight. They were going to find out anyway, she whispered. Then her name lit up the screen. Maya. For a moment, there was silence. Just her typing dots, blinking like a heartbeat. Then it came through. All caps. You will regret this. I'd barely slept. The courthouse vows still echoed in my head like a fever dream, the ink on our marriage certificate not even dry. Then the pounding started. At first I thought it was my hangover. But no, the door. I opened it, and there she was. Maya. Her eyes burned, wild with rage, her lips curled like she'd been rehearsing this moment in the mirror all night. You think you can humiliate me, she spat. You think marrying her fixes you? Aria appeared behind me, cautious, barefoot, hair still damp from the shower. Maya's gaze snapped to her. You. Snake. Her voice cracked with venom. My own stepsister. Sleeping in my bed before my side was even cold. That's not what happened, Aria said, steady but pale. Maya laughed, a sharp, cruel sound. Don't play innocent, homewrecker. You've been waiting for this. Waiting for him. I stepped forward, fists clenched. Enough, Maya. But she wasn't done. Her phone was already out, her thumbs moving fast. My phone buzzed. Then again. And again. The family chat lit up with her messages. Maya, look at them. Courthouse clowns. She stole my husband. Maya, imagine marrying your stepsister's leftovers. Maya, Aria is a homewrecker. Trash. The flood began. Cousins, uncles, old friends. Gasps. Disbelief. Jokes. Eyes flushed, face fire. Wait, is this real? This is sick. Damn, bro. Then friends forever clinking beer mugs erupted too. Maya, guess who couldn't keep it in his pants? Maya, he married her hours after I left. Hours. Tom, bro, WTF. Lisa, this is messy AF. Ryan, kinda savage though, rolling on the floor laughing. My throat tightened. Each buzz felt like a stone against my chest. Aria sat beside me on the couch, scrolling her own phone. Her jaw trembled, but she refused to look away. They'll believe her, she whispered. I swallowed hard. Not all of them. But even I didn't sound convinced. The chats had turned into a trial, and we were guilty before we spoke. Friends split like tectonic plates, half condemning, half defending, all entertained. I stared at my reflection in the dark TV screen, wondering how fast my life had been reduced to gossip fuel. Then the flood stopped. Silence. Maya's name appeared again. A new photo. My blood ran cold. It was me. Arm around another woman. Grainy, nightlit, maybe months ago. The caption in bold text beneath it. Cheater. Arya gasped. My phone slipped from my hand, clattering to the floor. I just stared at the screen, my mind blank, my chest hollow. I didn't want to go. Every fiber of me screamed against it. But Arya's father called, voice stern, dinner. Tonight. No excuses. So there we were, walking into the old family dining room, a space that once smelled like roasted chicken and laughter. Tonight it smelled like gunpowder. The table was set too formally, polished silver gleaming under the chandelier. But no one touched the food. Maya sat across from me, arms folded, her eyes like daggers. Arya beside me, chin lifted, knuckles white on the edge of her plate. Her parents at either end, mother stiff, lips pursed, father staring into his glass like it might save him. The silence was thick, only broken by the clink of silverware when someone shifted. Finally, Maya spoke. So. She dragged the word out, sweet venom. How's married life? Quick, wasn't it? My jaw tightened. You've made your feelings clear, Maya. Oh, I'm not done. She pulled out her phone, tapping. Want me to show them the picture again? Their wonderful new son-in-law with some random woman on his arm. Arya slammed her hand on the table. It's not what you're saying it is, and you know it. Maya tilted her head, mock sympathy dripping. Of course you'd defend him. You've been defending him your whole life, haven't you? Mother's fork hit her plate. Maya's right. Her voice was sharp, unyielding. This marriage is obscene. Hours after she left you, you marry her stepsister. Have you no shame? My chest tightened. With respect, this isn't your choice. Choice. She scoffed. You've dragged this family's name through the mud. She turned her glare on Arya. And you. Betraying your sister like this? Disgusting. Arya's lips trembled, but before she could answer, her father cut in. That's enough. His voice was gravel, low and dangerous. Maya isn't some innocent victim. She's been twisting this whole story from the start. Maya's face flushed red. Dad. He leaned forward. You've always lied when it suited you. Always. The table erupted. Maya's voice rose, shrill. She always wanted what was mine. My clothes, my friends, now my husband. Arya fired back, voice shaking but strong. You were always handed everything. They coddled you, praised you, let you treat me like dirt, and I stayed quiet. Mother gasped, turning on Arya. That's not true. Yes it is, Arya snapped, eyes wet. You never saw the way she treated me when your back was turned. The insults. The sabotage. The way she made sure I always felt small. Maya's nails scraped against the wood. You're jealous. You've always been jealous. Arya's laugh was sharp, bitter. Jealous? No. Just tired of being in your shadow. The room vibrated with rage, secrets bleeding out faster than anyone could contain them. And then, bang! The father's fist slammed into the table, rattling the silverware. The entire room froze. His voice was thundering. Enough. Maya, tell him the truth, or I will. The house felt too quiet. I lay on my back in bed, staring at the ceiling, every muscle in my body buzzing with leftover adrenaline from the dinner that had gone nuclear hours earlier. The father's voice still thundered in my skull, tell him the truth, or I will. Arya slept beside me, her breathing soft, steady. Her hair spilled across the pillow, strands catching the faint light from the street lamp outside. She looked peaceful, untouched by the chaos she'd walked me through earlier. But I wasn't at peace. Not even close. The silence was thick. Every tick of the wall clock seemed like a hammer in my head. I closed my eyes, but all I saw were Maya's eyes across that dinner table, daring me to doubt, daring me to break. And then my phone buzzed. At first, I ignored it. But it buzzed again. And again. I reached for it, careful not to wake Arya. My chest tightened when I saw the name on the screen. Maya. I should have let it go. I should have silenced it, turned over, forced myself into uneasy sleep. But I didn't. I slid out of bed, stepping into the hallway, shutting the door quietly behind me. My thumb hovered over decline. Instead, I answered. Why are you calling me? I whispered harshly. Her voice came low, almost broken. Because you won't listen to me any other way. Maya. You don't know her, she hissed. You think you do, but you don't. She's not who she pretends to be. I leaned against the wall, pressing my forehead to the cool plaster. You've said enough. All you do is throw poison. No, she whispered, urgent now. I'm trying to save you. Arya, she's been playing you for years. You think she's some loyal little sister, but she always wanted this. Don't you see? She waited for me to leave you. She wanted this marriage. She wanted you. Her words slid under my skin like ice water. That's not true, I snapped. You're twisting this because you can't stand the fact that she's smarter than you. Maya cut in. That she fooled you. You think I'm cruel, but I'm the only one telling you the truth. She doesn't love you. She loves beating me. And now she has. My throat was dry, fingers tightening around the phone. I could hear her breathing, quick and shaky, like she was on the edge of tears, or rage. You'll see it soon enough, she whispered. She's not your savior. She's your executioner. And then the line went dead. I stood there in the dark hallway, the silence heavier now. Her words replayed in loops. She doesn't love you. She loves beating me. I wanted to laugh it off, to brush it away as another venomous dart. But the worst part? It stuck. Because hadn't Arya admitted she'd always admired me? Hadn't she confessed that night with her glass of wine in hand that she'd thought about me longer than she should have? Hadn't she stepped in the moment Maya left, as if she'd been waiting? I shoved the thought down and went back into the bedroom. Arya shifted slightly, but she was still asleep, one arm curled loosely across her stomach. I slid into bed beside her, staring at her in the faint glow. I wanted to believe she was exactly what she seemed, my anchor, my escape from Maya's cruelty. But Maya's words had planted a seed. And seeds grow in the dark. I don't know when I drifted off. My dreams were fractured, jagged. But what woke me wasn't the sun. It was buzzing. A sound too familiar now, insistent, pulling me out of restless sleep. I rubbed my eyes, blinking at the brightness of morning sneaking through the blinds. Then I saw it. On the nightstand, just inches from me. Arya's phone. Buzzing. Lighting up again and again. One name flashing on the screen. Maya. The buzzing didn't stop. I blinked awake, my vision blurry, my chest still heavy from a night of fractured sleep. At first, I thought it was my phone. But the sound came from the nightstand. Arya's phone. It lit up again, the screen cutting through the early morning haze. And there it was, her name, Maya. My stomach twisted. I froze, staring at it, hoping it would stop. But it buzzed again. And again. Relentless. Like Maya knew I was awake, I knew I was watching. Before I could talk myself out of it, I reached for the phone. The screen swiped open with a thumbprint. Hers. I didn't even know why I tried, some reckless instinct, a craving for truth, for proof, for something. I went straight to her messages. And there it was. A thread. Maya. My pulse thudded in my ears as I scrolled. But most of it was gone, vanished. Whole chunks of the conversation had been deleted. Only fragments remained, broken bones of a bigger body I couldn't piece together. But the words that were left, he can't know, not yet. We'll decide when the time comes. Don't ruin this. My throat went dry. The phone trembled in my hand. Not yet. Don't ruin this. Decide when the time comes. What the hell did that mean? Behind me, the sheets shifted. Eli. Her voice. Soft, sleepy. Then sharper. What are you doing? I spun, the phone still clutched in my hand. She sat up, her hair tangled, her eyes wide when she saw it. You went through my phone, she gasped. You've been talking to her. My voice cracked, raw and jagged. To Maya. Arya scrambled out of bed, snatching for the phone, but I pulled it back. Why are you deleting messages? What are you hiding? Her face flushed, tears immediately brimming. It's not what you think. Then what the hell is it? I barked. Because I just read enough to know you and Maya have been in contact. You think I'm a joke. You think this is some game where I'm the idiot you two pass back and forth. Her tears spilled over. I was trying to protect you. I laughed bitterly, the sound sharp in the air. Protect me? From what? From her lies. Arya grabbed my arm, desperate. She wouldn't stop texting me, calling me, trying to get inside my head. She said she was going to ruin us, ruin you. I deleted the messages because I didn't want you to spiral. I thought I was shielding you. You told her, he can't know, I spat, shoving the words at her like knives. What can't I know, Arya? What's the big secret you two are keeping from me? Her face broke, trembling lips, tears running unchecked. I don't know what she sent you, what you read, but please, you have to trust me. I couldn't. Not fully. Not anymore. I stormed out of the bedroom, the phone still in my grip, and paced the kitchen. The light through the blinds sliced across the counter in pale stripes. My chest heaved like I'd been running. Arya followed me, barefoot, eyes red, hands trembling. Eli, please. Her voice cracked. She's trying to destroy me so she can pull you back. That's all this is. You can't let her win. You can't let her turn you against me. I pressed my palms against the counter, leaning forward, fighting the war inside me. Maya's poison versus Arya's tears. One venomous, one fragile, but both hiding something. Both twisting me into knots. Do you know what it feels like, I whispered hoarsely, to stand here and wonder if my own wife is telling me the truth. Don't know if I'm the fool in the room, or the only one who doesn't see it. Her hand reached for mine. I didn't take it. I love you, she whispered. I chose you. That's the only truth that matters. I stared at her, searching her face for cracks, for shadows. I wanted to believe. God, I wanted to. But then my phone buzzed. I looked down. A new message. From Maya. Just one file. A video. My thumb hovered, my pulse pounding. Against every warning bell in my head, I pressed play. The screen filled with Arya's face. Her voice. I swear, she said in the video, her tone low, deliberate, he'll never know the real reason I married him. The phone nearly slipped from my hands. I thought the worst had already come. I was wrong. The morning started with vibrations, my phone buzzing so violently it rattled against the nightstand. I reached for it, half asleep, and froze when I saw the screen. 87 notifications. Instagram, Facebook, group chats, texts. All screaming the same thing, Maya. I opened one. My chest tightened. A photo of me and Arya, laughing at the courthouse after our wedding. Maya's caption. He cheated on me with my own sister. While we were still married. This is the kind of man he really is. Comments already piling beneath. Friends. Family. Strangers. Some are defending me. Some crucify me. Then another post. A private selfie I'd once sent Maya, me, shirtless, grinning in our kitchen. Captioned. This is who I wasted years of my life on. Don't trust his smile. It's all lies. The comments were worse this time. Trash. Disgusting. Homewrecker. I felt my stomach drop into free fall. Eli. Arya's voice cut through. She'd just woken up. One look at my face, and she knew. She grabbed her own phone, her gasp confirmed it. She's everywhere, Arya whispered. She's actually doing it. By noon, it had spread to every corner of my world. My aunt texted me, why would you humiliate your wife like this? A cousin I hadn't spoken to in years posted a rant on Facebook, tagging my name. And then, my boss's email, please see me in my office. The HR director sat there too. My boss looked grim. Eli, he said, folding his hands, we received some troubling emails. From your ex-wife. He slid a paper across the desk. My breath stopped. It was a screenshot of Maya's message. He's unstable. He hit me once. He's manipulative, and now he's sleeping with my younger sister. I thought the company should know the kind of man you employ. I could barely breathe. That's a lie. Every single word of it. The HR woman cleared her throat. We're not saying we believe her, but this complicates things. If these allegations spread further. I didn't do any of that. I snapped. She's lying because I left her. They exchanged glances. Pitying. Skeptical. I walked out of that office hollow, my reputation dangling by a thread. That night, Arya and I sat on the couch in silence, both of us raw, both of us bleeding in ways we couldn't stitch. She won't stop, Arya said finally, her voice breaking. It doesn't matter what we do. She'll keep burning everything until there's nothing left. I wanted to hold her. To promise it would be okay. But all I could see was the video Maya had sent me. Arya's lips forming the words, he'll never know the real reason I married him. It dug into me like glass, even as she sat beside me, tears sliding down her face. Tell me you're not doubting us, Arya whispered suddenly, catching my silence like a blade. I swallowed hard. I'm trying not to. Her hands trembled as she covered her face. Eli, if you let her win, if you let her poison everything we have, we're finished before we even begin. Her voice cracked, raw and desperate. Please. Don't let her destroy me too. But the destruction kept coming. Friends texted me screenshots, Maya painting herself as a victim, saying I abandoned her for a younger woman, that I'd been unfaithful long before. Each new message was a stone against my ribs. I smashed my phone against the counter, the screen splintering into spiderweb cracks. Arya cried out, rushing to me, her hands grabbing mine. Eli. Stop, please, just stop. I dropped the pieces, chest heaving, rage and shame colliding inside me until I thought I'd tear apart. She pulled me into her arms, pressing her cheek against mine, whispering, I've got you. I'm here. She doesn't get to win. But the doubt lingered. And Maya's shadow never left the room. The knock came just after midnight. 3 sharp raps. Arya stirred from the couch, frowning. Who? I already knew. I opened the door. Maya stood there, mascara streaking down her cheeks, her hair tangled, her blouse wrinkled like she hadn't changed in days. Her lips trembled as she looked at me. He left me, she whispered, her voice breaking. He left me. I made a mistake. The hallway light flickered above us. My pulse thundered in my ears. Maya's mascara-streaked face lingered in my mind long after I shut the door. Her broken whisper, he left me. I made a mistake, still rang in my ears. Arya paced the living room like a storm trapped in a glass jar. Her fists clenched, her shoulders trembling. Finally, she spun toward me. No more, she said, her voice sharp. No more half-truths. No more hiding things. You deserve to know everything. I sank into the couch, exhausted. Arya, I don't know if I can take another secret tonight. You don't have a choice. Her eyes burned, not with anger, but with a desperation that made my chest tighten. She sat down across from me, leaning forward, her voice low, raw. Maya's been like this her whole life. Always watching me. Always competing. Always making sure she got to everything first, just to keep me in her shadow. I frowned, trying to picture Maya as a child. Competing? Over what? Over everything. Arya's laugh was bitter. Grades. Friends. Clothes. Boys. If I liked a song, she suddenly hated it. If I liked a boy, she'd flirt with him, just to prove she could take him from me. I shook my head, struggling to process. She continued, her voice sharp. She never loved you, Eli. She married you because I admired you. Because I looked up to you. You were kind to me when no one else noticed. And that was enough to make Maya want to stake her claim. To prove I could never have something she didn't. Her words cut deep, stirring anger and shame in my gut. So all this, I muttered, wasn't about me at all. It was about you too. Arya's eyes glistened. It was always about her. And me. And what she thought she could take. She leaned closer, voice trembling. Do you remember when she'd cancel plans on you last minute? Or when she'd suddenly pick fights over nothing? That was her testing how much you'd endure. She mocked you in private chats because hurting you made her feel like she'd beaten me again. I felt the blood drain from my face. All those nights I thought I'd failed her, all those moments of self-doubt, were just weapons she wielded. And you, I swallowed hard. You knew. You saw this happening. Arya's silence was enough. Finally, she whispered, yes. The room felt smaller now, walls closing in. Then why? Why let me marry her? Why let it go that far? Arya's breath caught, tears threatening. Because she would have found another way. Because she had to win. And if it wasn't you, it would have been someone else close to me. I thought maybe she'd burn out if she got what she wanted. That she'd leave you alone. Her eyes filled, shimmering like glass about to shatter. But she didn't stop. And that's why I married you, Eli. Not to steal you. Not to hurt her. To protect you. To finally put an end to the game she's been playing since we were kids. Her words lodged in me like stones, heavy, impossible to shift. You married me out of protection, I said slowly, like testing a fragile truth. Yes. Her hands trembled in her lap. Because I couldn't watch her break you anymore. Not after what she'd already done. Not after how much she enjoyed it. A sound broke the silence. The front door creaked. We both turned. Maya stood in the doorway, her face pale, her eyes wild, lips trembling with fury. She must have heard everything. You, she hissed, her fingers stabbing the air toward Arya. You think you're the savior? You think he sees you as anything more than my sloppy seconds? Arya stood slowly, her spine straight. This isn't about me, Maya. It never was. It's about what you've done, what you always do. Maya's laugh was jagged, breaking apart. Don't play innocent. You've been waiting your whole life for this, for me to fall so you could swoop in and take what's mine. Her voice rose, cracking like glass. He was mine first, you were always second best. The living room felt like a cage. Arya stood on one side, arms crossed tight against her chest, jaw set like stone. Maya stood on the other, her hands trembling, mascara streaked down her cheeks, but her eyes burning with something between desperation and madness. And I was stuck in the middle. The silence was unbearable. Every tick of the clock pressed harder against my skull. Finally, Maya broke it. Eli, she whispered, voice cracking. Please. Just listen to me. One last time. Arya scoffed, sharp as glass. Don't do this. Don't let her drag you back. But Maya ignored her, stepping closer to me, her hands outstretched. I know I've hurt you, she said. Her voice shook, but for once it wasn't sharp, it was raw. I know I broke every vow we made. But I was lost. I thought what I felt was love, but it wasn't. It was emptiness, obsession, and jealousy. And I see that now. I wanted to laugh, to scream, to collapse. Instead, I just stared at her, stunned by the sight of Maya begging. I can change, she whispered. I will change. I just need one more chance. Please, Eli. Her words crawled under my skin, twisting with memories. The first night she kissed me, the way her laugh once lit up a room, the warmth of her hand in mine before everything rotted. For a moment, I almost wanted to believe her. But then Arya's voice cut through. Change, she spat. You've been saying that your whole life. Every time you destroy something, every time you hurt someone, you promise it'll be different next time. And it never is. Maya's head snapped toward her, fury flashing. Stay out of this. No, Arya's voice was steady, unflinching. Not anymore. I've stayed quiet my whole life while you ripped people apart just to prove you could. And now you're not just asking him for forgiveness, you're asking him to climb back into the same trap you've built 100 times. She turned to me, eyes glassy but strong. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking you to forget any of this mess. I'm asking for one thing only, trust me. Trust that I'm not wearing a mask. That what you see is all I have. No games. No lies. Just me. The words hit harder than any scream could. Trust. That was what I'd been searching for in every message, every late-night fight, every broken vow. Not love. Not passion. Just something solid. I looked between them, my heart tearing itself apart. Maya, my first love, my wife, the one I'd built a life with, even if that life had been poisoned. She was begging now, her pride stripped away, looking like the girl I once thought could save me. Arya, her sister, my unexpected ally, the one who'd pulled me from the wreckage when I was ready to drown. She had her flaws, her secrets, her mistakes. But when she said she was done with games, I believed her. My chest ached, my vision blurred. My entire body screamed under the weight of it. This was it. The moment that would split my life into before and after. I reached into my pocket, fingers brushing against the cool band of metal I'd carried too long. The wedding ring. My thumb rubbed against it, remembering the day I slid it on, the promises made, the man I thought I was. Slowly, I pulled it off. Both sisters froze. The silence grew unbearable, thicker than any scream. And then I let it fall. Clink. The ring hit the table, spun once, twice, the sound slicing through the air like a blade. Arya's lips parted. Maya's eyes widened. Neither of them spoke. They were waiting. Waiting to see if that sound was the death of the past, or the death of everything. The ring lay on the table, still. No one breathed. No one moved. The silence between us was heavier than any scream. Maya's eyes flicked from the ring to me, panic sparking. No, she whispered, her voice trembling. No, you don't get to do this. You don't get to just end it like that. Her hand darted forward, snatching the ring, clutching it like a lifeline. This means something. It has to. You can't just walk away from everything we had. My chest tightened, but I forced myself to stand taller. Maya, we don't have anything anymore. Not love. Not trust. Not even respect. She flinched like I'd struck her. Her desperation cracked open. She stumbled closer, grabbing at my arm. Please, Eli, please. I'll do better. I'll change. We can fix this. Don't throw me away. Her nails dug into my sleeve as her words tumbled out, frantic, choking, raw. He left me, Eli. I have no one else. You're all I have. Please. For years, I would have folded at that, her tears, her pleading, the way she could make me feel like I was the only person who could save her. But now all I saw was the wreckage she left in her wake. I shook my head slowly. You made your choice, Maya. And now I'm making mine. The words broke her. Her face twisted, grief curdling into rage. You think she's better, she spat, pointing at Arya with shaking hands. You think she won't betray you? You're blind, Eli. She'll ruin you too. Just wait. Arya didn't flinch. She just stood there, arms crossed, eyes steady. Maya's voice cracked again, falling from venom back into sobs. Please, don't do this to me. Her knees buckled, and she crumpled to the floor, clutching the ring against her chest like it could still rewrite the truth. I wanted to feel anger. I wanted to feel vindicated. Instead, all I felt was empty. I turned to Arya. She hadn't moved closer, hadn't reached for me. She looked at me with a sadness that almost undid me more than Maya's tears. We'll get through this, she said softly. But Eli, this won't disappear overnight. She's not just your past. She's mine too. And scars like these, she pressed a hand to her chest, they don't fade easily. Her honesty cut deeper than Maya's theatrics ever could. I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. I don't want perfect, Arya. I just want something real. Her lips trembled, but she managed a small nod. Then let's start with that. Maya's sobs followed us as we walked toward the door. Each step felt like tearing out stitches, reopening wounds I'd tried to ignore. The house around us, the photos, the furniture, the memories, it felt less like a home and more like a mausoleum. A place where promises came to die. When the door closed behind us, the sound of Maya's crying muffled into silence. The night air hit my face like ice. I sucked in a deep breath, and for the first time in months, it didn't feel poisoned. Arya walked beside me, close but not touching, respecting the space between us. We didn't say a word as we left the house behind. Later, lying awake in the dark, the quiet pressed differently. Not suffocating, just still. My mind replayed everything. Maya's laugh when I first fell for her. Her smile when she wore that dress on our wedding day. The fire in her eyes when she announced she'd found true love in front of the world. All of it is gone. I didn't just lose a wife tonight. I lost the illusions I built around her, the fantasy that she'd ever been who I thought she was. And losing that hurt more than losing her. But as the thought settled, a strange calm came with it. Maybe, for the first time, I was standing on ground that wasn't shifting under me. Maybe freedom wasn't about who stood beside me, it was about no longer being chained to someone who thrived on breaking me. Arya breathed softly beside me, her presence steady but not smothering. We had our own fractures to face, our own healing to do. But at least, whatever came next, it would be real. I stared into the dark, exhaling the last weight of the night. I didn't just lose a wife, I lost illusions. And maybe, for the first time, I was free.